that pays huge dividends for your metabolic health. Fast food is the perfect storm of liver-damaging ingredients all rolled into one convenient package. A typical fast food meal, a burger, fries, and a soda, delivers a massive blow to your system. You're getting the high-fat fried component from the French fries, which we've already discussed. You're getting the refined carbohydrates from the white bun. You're often getting processed meat in the burger patty. And you're washing it all down with a liquid sugar bomb in the form of a large soda. This combination creates a metabolic crisis for your liver. It's being hit from all angles simultaneously. It has to process an enormous load of saturated and trans fats, which promotes fat storage. It has to manage a huge, rapid spike in blood sugar from the refined bun and the soda, which also triggers fat production. And it has to deal with the chemical preservatives and high sodium content from the processed components. It's like asking a single worker to do the jobs of 4 people at once. It's completely overwhelming. Regularly consuming fast food has been strongly linked in research to the development and severity of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. One study even found that individuals who got 20% or more of their daily calories from fast food had significantly elevated levels of liver fat compared to those who ate less or none. This isn't a surprise when you break down the components. You are systematically providing your body with all the raw materials it needs to build a fatty liver, and you're doing it in the most efficient way possible. I understand that fast food is sometimes unavoidable due to time constraints or a lack of other options, but it's crucial to view it as an emergency option, not a regular part of your diet. If you do find yourself at a fast food restaurant, try to make smarter choices. Opt for a grilled chicken sandwich instead of a fried one or a burger. Choose a side salad with a light vinaigrette instead of fries, and most importantly, swap the soda for water. Even small modifications can lessen the burden on your liver and mitigate some of the damage. Canned foods are, a pantry staple for many people because they're convenient, affordable, and have a long shelf life. While many canned goods like beans or vegetables can be part of a healthy diet, there are a couple of potential concerns we need to address when it comes to liver health. The first is the lining of the cans themselves. Many metal cans are lined with a resin that contains bisphenol A, or BPA, a chemical used to prevent the metal from corroding and contaminating the food. The issue is that BPA can leach from the lining into the food you eat. While regulatory bodies have deemed low-level exposure to be safe, BPA is a known endocrine disruptor, meaning it can interfere with your body's hormones. Some scientific studies have raised concerns about the potential effects of chronic BPA exposure on the liver. Research in animal models has suggested a link between BPA and oxidative stress in the liver, inflammation, and even the worsening of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. The liver is responsible for metabolizing and clearing chemicals like BPA, so constant exposure adds to its workload. The second, and perhaps more immediate, concern with canned foods is their often sky-high sodium content. Salt is used liberally as a preservative to extend shelf life and enhance flavor. A single serving of canned soup, vegetables, or meat can sometimes contain half or even more of your recommended daily sodium intake. As we'll discuss in more detail shortly, a high-sodium diet is directly linked to liver damage, specifically a condition called fibrosis, which is the formation of scar tissue. So how do you navigate the canned food aisle safely? First, whenever possible, look for cans that are explicitly labeled BPA-free. Many companies are now using alternative linings in response to consumer demand. Second, and just as important, read the nutrition labels for sodium. Choose products with no salt added or low sodium. If you're buying canned beans or vegetables, you can also rinse them thoroughly under running water before use. This simple step can wash away up to 40% of the added sodium, making them a much healthier choice for your liver. When people try to cut back on sugar, they often turn to artificial sweeteners, thinking they've found a free pass to enjoy sweetness without the calories or the blood sugar spike. Products with aspartame, sucralose, and saccharin are everywhere, from diet sodas to sugar-free yogurts and snacks. However, the impact of these chemical sweeteners on our long-term health, particularly on our liver and gut microbiome, is a subject of ongoing scientific debate and concern. They might not be as harmless as they seem. Your liver has to process everything you ingest, and these artificial compounds are no exception. They're foreign chemicals that the body doesn't recognize as a natural food source. Some studies, primarily in animals, have suggested that high consumption of certain artificial sweeteners could lead to increased oxidative stress in the liver. This means they may generate harmful free radicals that the liver's antioxidant systems have to work hard to neutralize. potentially leading to inflammation and cellular damage over time. A more well-established concern is the effect these sweeteners have on our gut microbiome, the trillions of bacteria living in our digestive tract. A healthy gut is crucial for a healthy liver, a connection known as the gut-liver axis. Emerging research indicates that artificial sweeteners can alter the balance of our gut bacteria, killing off beneficial strains and allowing more harmful ones to thrive. This disruption can lead to a leaky gut, where toxins from the gut can enter the bloodstream and travel directly to the liver, causing inflammation and contributing to liver disease. While the research in humans is still evolving and often conflicting, there is enough uncertainty to warrant caution. If the goal is to improve your health, replacing sugar with a chemical substitute might be like trading one problem for another. A better approach is to gradually reduce your overall desire for intense sweetness. Instead of reaching for a diet soda, drink water. Instead of a sugar-free candy, have a piece of whole fruit. Retraining your palate to appreciate the natural, milder sweetness of whole foods is a far more beneficial long-term strategy for your liver and your entire body. We've touched on salt a few times, but it deserves its own chapter because its impact on the liver is direct and damaging. Most of us are consuming far too much sodium, and it's not just from the salt shaker on the table. The vast majority, over 70% of the sodium in the average diet comes from processed and restaurant foods. Things like canned soups, frozen dinners, processed meats, sauces, and condiments are loaded with it. This chronic overdose of salt creates a very specific type of stress on your liver. High sodium intake is known to contribute to high blood pressure, but how does it affect the liver? Research has shown a direct link between high salt diets and the development of liver fibrosis. Fibrosis is the first stage of liver scarring. It's believed that excess salt can induce changes in liver cells that lead to cell death and inflammation. In response to this injury, the liver begins to produce excessive amounts of collagen and other proteins which form scar tissue. This scarring stiffens the liver and impairs its function. Furthermore, a high-salt diet can lead to water retention, which not only affects your blood pressure but can also put extra strain on your entire system, including the portal vein that supplies blood to the liver. Some studies suggest that this can disrupt blood flow within the liver and contribute to cellular damage. When you combine a high-salt diet with a high-fat or high-sugar diet, a common combination in processed foods, you're creating a recipe for accelerated liver injury. The key to protecting your liver from salt is to focus on a diet of whole, unprocessed foods. When you cook at home, you have complete control over how much salt goes into your food. Use herbs and spices, garlic and onion, and citrus juice to add flavor instead of relying on salt. Be a diligent label reader. You'll be shocked at how much sodium is hiding in seemingly healthy foods like bread, cottage cheese, and salad dressings. Aiming for less than 2,300 milligrams per day, and even less, around 1,500 milligrams for those at high risk, is a critical goal for liver protection. This last one might be a bit surprising as dairy is often promoted as a healthy source of calcium and protein, and for many people, it can be. However, when we're specifically talking about protecting a liver that may already be at risk for, or currently has, fatty liver disease, the type of dairy you choose matters. The concern with full-fat dairy products like whole milk, full-fat cheese, butter, and cream is their high content of saturated fat. As we've established, a diet high in saturated fat is a primary driver of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. When you consume these fats, they are transported to the liver. If the amount of fat coming in exceeds the liver's capacity to process it or export it, that fat gets stored in the liver cells. For someone who already has a fatty liver, adding more saturated fat to the system is like pouring gasoline on a fire. It can accelerate the accumulation of fat, worsen inflammation, and potentially speed up the progression to more serious stages of liver disease like steatohepatitis or fibrosis. It's important to clarify that this is not an argument against dairy altogether. Dairy products provide valuable nutrients. The issue is the fat content, specifically for those with compromised liver health. The saturated fat in dairy contributes to your total daily intake, which should be limited to protect both your liver and your heart. Many people with NAFLD also have other related conditions like high cholesterol, and a high intake of saturated fat from dairy can exacerbate these issues as well. The good news is that there's a very simple and effective solution. Switch to low-fat or non-fat dairy products. Opt for skim or 1% milk instead of whole milk. Choose low-fat yogurt and cottage cheese. Use cheese sparingly as a flavor enhancer rather than a main ingredient. These lower-fat versions still provide the protein, calcium, and vitamin D you're looking for, but with a fraction of the saturated fat. This simple dietary modification can significantly reduce the fatty load on your liver, helping to manage or prevent the progression of fatty liver disease. We've covered a lot today, from soda and fried foods to the hidden dangers in canned goods and processed meats. It might feel overwhelming, but my goal isn't to make you afraid of food. It's to empower you with knowledge. Your liver is an incredibly resilient organ, but it's not invincible. The choices you make at the grocery store and in your kitchen have a direct and profound impact on its health. I urge you to take a moment this week to look at your own diet. Are any of these 10 foods a regular part of your routine? If so, think about the simple, healthy swaps we discussed. Protecting your liver isn't about a radical, restrictive diet. It's about making small, consistent, and conscious choices every day. It's about choosing water over soda, baked over fried, fresh over processed. These small changes add up to a massive reduction in the strain placed on your liver, giving it the chance to heal and function at its best. Your long-term health is the greatest investment you can ever make, and it starts with what's on your plate. Take this information and use it to build a healthier future for yourself. If you found this video helpful, and you think it could benefit someone you care about, please share it with them. So many people are unaware of how their diet is silently affecting their liver, and spreading this knowledge could truly make a difference. And of course, if you want to keep learning how to take control of your health with science-backed, actionable advice, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Thanks for watching, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next video.